Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is 12:30 right now. You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, where we're following some breaking news right now out of East LA. A live picture from our NBC affiliate in Los Angeles, KNBC. This is where they are investigating an explosion at a training center from the LA Sheriff's Department there. Occurred around 7:30 this morning, and as you can see from the graphic, 3 deputies killed. Let's listen in on their coverage now, live on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.
And killed in an explosion at the LA Sheriff's Department Training Center this morning.
So that explosion happened right around 7:30 this morning, so 2 hours ago now, and our crew on the ground tells us that Sheriff Luna is heading to that facility now. We're expecting to get an update from him as soon as he starts speaking. Of course, we'll bring that to you. Right now, though, we want to get to Lauren Coronado, who is just outside the facility on the ground. Lauren.
Lynette, Adrian, we're getting more details second by second. In fact, I just spoke with a member of the LA County Sheriff's Department who tells me the arson and explosive detail group is the group who were training at the time of this explosion. So that's new information that we're learning here on the ground. And I got to let you know that we are seeing more sheriff's deputies, their units arriving minute by minute. One moment you'll see them turn the corner quickly up toward the facility. We're just off Eastern Avenue and Sheriff Road, by the way. There is a large crime scene. It started a little bit smaller. You might be able to see some of the yellow tape behind me, but they have expanded it up the way up Eastern Avenue right now. So if you are in this area, you will quickly see that there is some traffic starting to develop in the area because of this major road closure. Now, I did talk with some people who live in the area. They're making their way down this way because they want to know what's going on. And of course, they hear 3 deputies have died. They want to know more information about this. I asked them if they heard the explosion living so close to this facility. They tell me they didn't hear the explosion. They didn't feel the impact of the explosion. However, Adrian, I know you were saying that the fire department did, which isn't far from this training facility. So we are gathering more details right now, but we are seeing more of those resources roll in. We saw members of the ATF arrive not long ago, the bomb squad. This is what I'm talking about. Every so often you'll see one of the marked vehicles, in that case unmarked, but you'll see vehicles like this, a sheriff's deputy vehicle, turn the corner quickly as they head up that way for this very much active investigation, certainly ongoing. And of course, your heart just breaks for these deputies who are at the center of this. We understand 3 deputies who I'm just told right now were training at the time. Much more will be to come of this, who these deputies are, of course. That's something that a lot of, like I said, the neighbors are asking about as well as they made their way down the way, as they tried to make their way down the way. Like I said, it is blocked off right here on Eastern Avenue, a large stretch of the road. We're working to gather more details, but again, after talking with that member of the Sheriff's Department, he tells me that the group that was training at the time, and I want to make sure that we get this one right. Let's pull up those notes that I have for you. This is a specialized team that was training at the time of the explosion, the arson and explosive detail group. That is the group that was training at the time. We're working to gather more details for you. We did talk with the public information officer who says this is the designated staging area. As soon as they're able to give us more information, confirmed information, they'll be bringing it to us right here. And of course, we'll bring it to you live as well. Adrian, Lynette.
Thank you for that, Lauren. Yeah, we were told that the firefighters in the station nearby felt that explosion at 7:27, and then they self-responded across the street to help. It was during a shift change, but they did feel that. So certainly any residents in the area must have felt it as well, and must have heard all of the emergency personnel responding to the scene. We are going to go back now to Julia Dang, who is overhead in Boyle Heights at the hospital nearby, where we believe, but are only assuming at this point, that some of the injured may have been taken to that hospital. Julia.
That's right, Lynette. We don't have that confirmed, but that's what we're hearing. And based on what we're seeing on the ground, you can see these 2 deputies standing outside the parking lot where patients are brought in by ambulance. It appears to us patients may have been transported here. You can see the deputies' vehicles as well. And Lynette, as you talk about the sense of urgency when this happened a little over 2 hours ago, you got to think about the silver linings. The fact that the LA County Fire Department is headquartered so close to where this happened, and firefighters were able to respond on their own without waiting for any kind of 911 call. So it's probably thanks to that quick response that we have 3 fatalities and not 4. But we did confirm that 4th person, the patient who was injured, was critically hurt. So the transport that we saw happen earlier, the person who was taken out of the back of the ambulance, we thought was connected to this incident. You saw that person. It looked like a woman. She was conscious. She was sitting up in a wheelchair. She was not flat on her back on a stretcher. So again, we don't know for sure if that was the critically injured victim. But as deputies continue standing by out here, trading notes, talking on the phone, and more authorities show up, we just have more and more questions about what that person's condition is now, what kind of treatment they need. But we're going to continue keeping eyes on LA General Medical Hospital, just a couple miles from where the explosion happened.
Okay, so Julia, thank you for that. Again, Julia at the hospital there. Again, that's just a few miles away from the LASD training facility where this explosion happened. We want to show you a map to give you an idea of exactly where this is happening here. So the training academy is right off the 710 between the 10 and the 60. It's in the City Terrace area to the west, and then just to the east of it would be Maravilla. So that gives you an idea of where it is. It's near the Monterey Park Golf Club and just south of California State University of the Los Angeles campus there. So it is a sprawling facility. If you, I'm not sure, I'm sure, Lynette, that you've been there before covering stories, but it is a massive facility. And again, we know that the incident that happened today is specifically in a parking lot, as Lauren Coronado just pointed out, just learned a short time ago. It specifically involved the arson and explosives detail.
So you can see from this map that there's quite a large parking lot, several buildings, all part of this campus. So it definitely is a vast area, now all part of this investigation. We're going to go right now again to Lauren Coronado, NBC4's Lauren Coronado, who is on the ground. Lauren, talk to us about how difficult it was for you to get on scene. You were coming from another story to cover that, and were diverted to this. How hard was it for you to get there?
Lynette, Adrian, it was a little tough. We mapped ourselves, and right away it started rerouting me. I realized, okay, there is a large portion of the area that's blocked off for this investigation. We cover a lot of crime, and that's often the case. You map yourself somewhere, you can't get there. If you're on the 10 getting off on Eastern Avenue, that's likely going to be what you're dealing with. A large portion of Eastern Avenue is blocked off. We're at Sheriff Road right now. This is the staging area, so let's give you guys an idea of what we're dealing with on the ground. The facility is just up the way. Obviously, we can't head that way. You will see a few sheriff's deputies turn the corner, though, and make their way up the way as the investigation continues. But this is the designated staging area. I talked with the public information officer. You can see all the media preparing for what is expected to be a press conference any moment now. I spoke with the public information officer, and he told me that they are gearing up to get us more details. They're going to get briefed, and they're going to share whatever they can with us as soon as they can. So that's something we're standing by for. But we know 3 sheriff's deputies have died in this explosion. It's just heartbreaking. When we were sent this way, like you said, I was covering a different story at the time. When we heard the news, our hearts sank. It's really difficult to hear something like this. Members of the community protecting our community, training just up the way, and for something tragic like this to happen is so difficult for the entire community, the law enforcement community, the greater community. I did talk with some of the neighbors up the way, and I asked them, did you guys hear the explosion? Did you feel the impact of the explosion like the nearby fire department did? They said they didn't, but they wanted to know more answers because they know that this is their local law enforcement, the LA County Sheriff's Department. They wanted to know more details, and of course our viewers, they're looking for more details as well. It's really a difficult situation for everybody involved. We're standing by. I did ask that public information officer if he had an idea of when he would be able to share some information. He said he can't share too much just yet. This is so dynamic. Things things are still moving. They're trying to figure out what they can share at the moment. So we are standing by. We are in contact with those sheriff's deputies who can provide us information here again at the staging area, which is on the corner of Eastern Avenue and Sheriff Road. It's blocked off to the public right now. If you get off on Eastern Avenue off the 10, you won't be able to make it very far down Eastern Avenue because of this. The yellow tape really begins at the fire department, if you're familiar with the area, which is the fire department you guys have referenced, who felt the impact of this intense explosion. So that portion of Eastern Avenue is closed off, beginning there all the way down the way to this training facility, some of the surrounding streets as well. The public cannot access this area, and we are seeing a lot of resources arrive as well. As I got here, you can really feel the urgency in the area as you see more of the sheriff's deputies arrive, more of the members of the bomb squad that we saw arrive earlier, members of the ATF as well. So that is what we're dealing with here on the ground. Of course, we're trying to gather more details from the sheriff's department as well, and of course we'll bring that to you as soon as we can.
And Lauren, that might take some time because obviously when something like this happens, the priority is to get the injured to the hospital to get the treatment that they need.
So much to gather.
And then you're going to make sure want to make sure that there are no more devices that could potentially explode and injure any other people. And then now that we know for sure that 3 deputies have been killed, you know for certain that the sheriff is going to want to talk with their families as well as with their colleagues before they disseminate any further information as to what happened here. So it could be a little while, until we get further information. But again, it's been a little bit over 2 hours since this explosion happened at the training facility. Lauren, we'll check back with you in just a second. I want to show you the statement right now from 1st District Supervisor Hilda Solis. We want to show you this. She wrote, quote, "I am deeply saddened by the tragic incident that occurred this morning at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the Training Academy in East Los Angeles." There's the statement right there. "My heart goes out to the families, friends, and colleagues of the 3 individuals who lost their lives in what appears to be a devastating explosion. I'm in contact with Sheriff Robert Luna and closely monitoring the situation as we await further details. My thoughts are with all those grieving and the first responders who are on the scene."
We also have information from Mayor Bass. I'm going to scroll through that. Mayor Bass put this out on social media as well, saying the City of LA is supporting the LASD headquarters through this horrific incident in Monterey Park. She says that LAFD, ATF arson investigators, and members of the LAPD bomb squad are assisting at the training facility. The thoughts of all Angelenos are with all of those impacted by this blast. We do know that Sheriff Robert Luna is either at the scene or headed to the scene and expected to talk with the media who is present to give them an update. But again, a lot of this is just being gathered as we speak. This is a live picture right now from Sheriff's headquarters there. You can see this is from News Chopper 4 overhead with Julia Dang. She's been on scene just trying to get our bearings to show us exactly. This is the image that she brought us very early on when we started this. And we do believe right there next to that fire engine that you see on scene, there is a Blazer or an SUV that had its back window blown out. We do believe that was involved in this. It happened at 7:30 this morning. We're gathering all those details. The one thing that is confirmed that is the most horrific part of this incident is that 3 deputies were killed in this explosion early this morning.
And Julia, one thing that you were focusing on initially as you're showing some of the other aircraft there at the scene, but one thing near the explosion site, near that fire truck and that patrol SUV that appears to have its back window blown out, is that there appear to be something on the ground, some kind of brown parcel or package. We can't quite make it out given the distance, but is that still there as far as you can tell?
Yeah, Adrian, we're flying quite a bit higher now. That TFR, that temporary flight restriction, is now in effect. So we're looking at this from 5,000 feet above. But yeah, I can see that brown bag. It might be a backpack. It is still there. A couple of deputies have walked up to the police tape. We haven't seen anybody actually cross under that tape and pick up the bag, but we saw people looking at it, taking photos, and then this black tent that we showed you earlier, a couple of people are working underneath it right now. So definitely still an active investigation. And you see LAPD, their mobile command unit, I believe, is now set up right behind this fire truck.
Julia, we know that you got there first thing this morning. I think you were overhead before, right around 8 a.m. maybe a little bit after 8 a.m. So, shortly after this happened, we understand it happened about 7:27, and we were there shortly after that. Now, you went to the hospital, you've come back. What else can you tell us about how you have seen this scene change in terms of responding vehicles or people on scene? Are you seeing any other changes from your vantage point?
Lynette, it seems to be actually quieting down on scene. When we first got here, nearly 2 hours ago now, this fire truck that's currently in the middle of our shot, this fire truck was here, and there were more than 10 people gathered around it. They were, I think...
Right now it's 12:45. You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We are dipping into coverage from Los Angeles at KNBC with this breaking news situation out of East LA, specifically the Boyle Heights area, the 710, 10 freeways where they converge together. Very highly densely populated area with buildings and residences, and at least 3 deputies killed after an explosion happened around 7:30 this morning local time, and a lot of officials, including Secretary Noem, weighing in, as well as Attorney General Pam Bondi. So we do know that the White House is aware of this situation at a Sheriff's Department training center. So 3 deputies confirmed dead due to this explosion. The events leading to the explosion unknown so far, as well as the victims themselves, who they are. They have not been identified. But as we begin to, or as we just start to weigh in and look at this coverage, we feel their hearts are heavy out of East LA and Los Angeles, that community there, with a large area cordoned off as well, with that investigation continuing now until further notice. We can count on that. So we will continue to follow this as we see fit. In the meantime,